the first thing is, how much to feed, right? And so, and I don't think we all usually have a good handle on how much to feed a dog. And this is a really good formula to give you an idea as far as what a dog's maintenance energy requirement is. And it's measured in kilocalories per day. So how many kilocalories per day do we feed a dog? And so the formula is pretty easy. You take your dog's weight to the power of 0.67 and you multiply it by 145. So that gives you a ballpark how much to feed a dog. And that becomes important because in that way you know how much to increase your bitch's calorie requirements during her breeding, during the gestation and lactation and whatnot. So you really have a good handle on how much she's getting in. So, for example, if we have a 20 kilogram dog, and it would roughly equal about 360 kilocalories per cup, which gives you 3 cups per day. So, if you want to try to use your phone and see if you get the same calculation I do, just to make sure that you're okay with that sort of formula.
Don't have issues with the health?
It doesn't hurt, but they've done a study with golden retrievers using folic acid. For some reason, there hadn't been any much benefit in terms of adding folic acid to golden retrievers to reduce cleft palate. It's not that you see very many in golden retrievers. So it seems to be most useful in those brachiocephalic breeds. Yeah. And there didn't seem to be much benefit in using folic acid supplementation in breeds that aren't typically known to be susceptible. And I think just making sure that the dog food that you are feeding is well balanced and it will have folic acid in there. There's a dog food called Royal Canine HT42, which is considered to be a maintenance food for breeding bitches from the time of breeding to up to day 42. And so it has some of the qualities that I've talked to you about. It's not the one only food out there. There's lots of foods that are similar or comparable or can be used equally. But the Royal Canin HT42, though, I think they're the ones that have done a lot of the research and put the time into formulating a diet that is helpful addressing some of these issues in terms of the omega fatty acid content, the increased energy content, and also it adds more folic acid to their diet.
You go after food, which mine usually do.
Yeah.
How do you get it into them?
How do you stimulate them to eat? That's a great question. You're going to have to find things out there that are palatable, right? And pretty much anything and everything that you can find to really entice their appetite. Because at that point, what's important is getting that energy into them. Whether it's sometimes milk replacer is really good because that has a lot of calories in them and it helps to also prevent hypocalcemia at that stage too, because they're also prone to hypocalcemia, which we'll get into later. So milk replacer, there are very high caloric energy dense foods out there like Hill's AD, or there's also Royal Canine Recovery. So there are higher dense foods out there. Baby food sometimes can help. If you have a big dog, you're going through a lot of baby food, but you're looking for foods out there that are very high dense in calories. So that way, if they're not eating so much, they're still getting that caloric intake.
Just backing up a little bit, what if you have your bitch on a low-fat diet because of their predisposition to high lipid levels?
Yeah.
What should one do in that case? Continue on the same diet? Or?
Well, you can feed a high-calorie diet that's low in fat, right? So that's possible.
The one that she's on is Royal Canin low-fat gastric.
Right.
So.
Right. So you can supplement with rice or potatoes to increase their calorie content.
Okay.
Yeah. And, in terms of where to find calories, I mean, you can, again, sometimes we have to rely on Google, and so, I mean, they'll have, you can find breakdowns on, pound per pound, how many calories of a certain food that you would be feeding your bitch. So whether it's potatoes or meat or whatever, I mean, you can find out pound, what the caloric intake would be, and then you can use that along with whatever you're already feeding your dog.